It's Owen, Julien, Jeff, Brandon Carter, Brandon Carter's phenomenal friends Daisha, and I watch you on Snapchat every day, Bella, and Luke. And we're just kicking it here. We're having a party up at the crib. My roommate, Big Mike, decided he wanted to throw a party tonight. We just got back in from Vegas. It's fucking crazy. What we want to talk about today, for Julien himself, to support Julien in his channel today, is the topic of passions and why passions make really hard work not necessarily feel like work. Now, even take myself. Literally, I just came back from sleeping like 2 hours a night, a couple nights in a row, came here ready to shoot, and a couple people were like, dude, like, are you on coke or something? Yeah. Like, how the fuck are you able to look like this if you barely even slept? Not that that's ideal, it's just the way it was. We just came back from Summit, it's a big event, and we're gonna talk about why that is, so you can look energetic, fun-free, while making meals, crushing it, changing the world, like all my homies right here at our fucking party. And here's how it's done in many different perspectives. Okay, that's it. Let's start.
Yeah, I mean, with success, there's this big idea where, you know, there's all this effort, this willpower that's needed, this discipline, and it's like this drag. It's like you wake up and you're like, oh, here we go, and you just fucking plow through. And if you're doing something that you're passionate about, if you're really, truly pursuing your purpose, it should not feel like that, okay? You should, of course, hustle, and there are gonna be many obstacles, but it should feel effortless. Think of, you know, when you're in school as a kid, you may be doing some homework, reading a book, you know, it's like school's like, hey, read this, and it just feels like torture. It's like so much effort to read like a few pages. And I remember that was me, you know, growing up, I'm like, fuck this. And I'd go home and I was really into music, and there's this program called Pro Tools, and I would literally spend hours studying Pro Tools, like doing more work than I ever would in school, and time flew by, and again, it felt fucking effortless. So the message here is, if you're doing something and it's currently feeling like a drag, the key is not more willpower, it's you're probably doing the wrong thing.
For me, I don't care if I'm happy or sad or if it's work or not. I just want results, man.
You like fitness more than, say, sitting at a desk writing about Subway.
That's true. But it's like I don't care though. You know, so maybe.
You know, but what he's saying is you don't care because you're doing awesome shit. Your job is rapping Freestyle Friday on Snapchat.
That is true.
Compared to
that is true.
wanting to die at an insurance job.
Okay.
Where if you rapped, you would have probably be fired.
Yeah, I get fired.
There'd be a rally brought in to support you for being fired. You'd fight back. You'd be on CNN. You might get shot. Then there'd be another rally.
Me and Julien were talking about going on CNN again. Yeah, me and Julien were talking about going on CNN again. But anyway, yeah, no, it's not a business. I guess I get what you're saying. I just don't think about being happy or even care, man. I just want to fucking win.
It's like
But so you might want to edit this.
Would you be able to do this job like if it was insurance?
It's like finding what turns you on.
I get what you're saying.
Find what turns you on and makes you want to fucking hustle.
I got you.
Versus, you know, trying to make something that doesn't turn you on.
It still feels like effort though, but from your saying, it's I don't mind it because
he comes from a gym background where guys like, it's a little heavy. I don't like the way it feels. How can I just be big by taking Rebellion? On Freestyle Friday, it looked like you just take Rebellion and get jacked.
I mean, Rebellion helps.
And then you have those girls there around you. I thought that's all you do. You just take it and you're fixed. Right? And he's like, no, motherfucker, you gotta want that shit. Yeah. And then he raps.
Not rap.
Yeah, and to make it clear. Well, no, dude, it's like, to make it clear as well, it's like if we took like a 2-minute break here, I'd feel like dying. Like, it is a hustle, like, it is a grind. You're gonna go through many, like, really unpleasant moments where you're like, fucking A, I'm doing this, but you better be loving every second of those moments. You know, if you like snap back, although like right now I'm tired as fuck, I love talking to the camera. I love delivering this idea here.
And you feel good about what you're doing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's effort, but but because it's something I give a fuck about and I'm interested in, then I don't mind it. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
We were talking about this just a couple minutes ago. In fact, you know, I talked to Brandon. I'm like, you know, you do how many videos you do a day? Like several a day, maybe, right? At least one a day. And so I'm like, how do you knock this stuff out? He's like, well, I have a dedicated place in my house, and the camera's set up there. All I gotta do is press play, and so that camera never goes anywhere, does it? It's always there. So he can just sit there. So you gotta also have processes in place that are gonna permit you to do the stuff easily, right? If you have to like dredge out the equipment, set it up, or even the gym, like if you gotta like travel 7 miles in the snow both ways to the gym, how are you more or less likely to go and do that? So one is being, you know, do what you love and you'll never work again, quote unquote. But the second thing is, again, putting those processes in place to make it as easy as possible for you to execute on a day-to-day basis.
You have to do what you enjoy or you're never going to want to really keep up with it anyway to get to the point you actually have success. really that's what comes down to it. If you're not enjoying yourself, you're not going to get to the point where you get above amateur level in anything that you do anyway. So step one is you have to find what you're good at and find what you enjoy. Combine those two things together, and then all of a sudden you'll have success without even realizing it. It'll just kind of unfold and cascade in front of you.
So you hear this, you're probably thinking, okay, well, how do I find, this thing that I love, or this thing where, time just flies by and it feels effortless? And you're probably going to start logically thinking of, well, maybe I could do this. And a good way to go about this is to not think about it, it's to feel your way there. It's to look at your emotions and ask yourself, what are those activities like? When I'm doing this shit, like time flies by. When I'm doing this shit, I feel fucking awesome. What is that? And just keep following those emotions until you fucking find it.
Your family wants you to go with something that's conservative, right? And they're doing that because they're afraid that you're going to fail. And that's very rational. If you look at me and Julien, say teaching, what we teach, right? Self-development, this is no joke, right? Like when we're saying that we just worked for 7 days straight, and now we get to our own damn party, and we're sitting here even recording at our own party, still working, that's the seriousness that you have to take it with, right? With me and Nick would have gone into investment banking, I would have gone into law, or being a college professor. So I take this with the same seriousness as that. Now, if you're willing to take that same kind of hustle, then it's okay to do the risky thing that you love. But I get scared because I think a lot of people enjoy the idea of dropping out, just quit and drop out, and it's all good. But they're not necessarily willing to put in the hustle, right? Like the whole thing, we're like, I'm gonna drop out of college and quit, and I'm gonna say fuck it all, and I'm gonna follow my passion. That seems like the hard part. No, that's the beginning of the hard part.
Don't just make the leap and then give up. It's like your family, fucking society, they want you to go the conservative route. It's like, just do what's safe and keeps you in the middle. If you want to go for something that really turns you on, something where, again, it feels effortless, you love it, and you could just spend literally days without sleep doing it, you're going to have to take a different route. And with that route there, you either succeed and you go up here, or you are fucked. There is no more in between. It's like, if you fail, if you just make the jump and you don't have that commitment where you're like, I'm going till the bitter fucking end, you're done.
So that being the case, ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What are you willing to put into it? And then from there, here's, I think, the next step. What are you willing to cut out? I'm willing to cut out most of the things that most people believe is the entire point of doing all this.
If you look at this party, and you're probably thinking holy shit, from an outsider's perspective, if I saw this, I'd be like, oh my fucking God. Back in the day, I died to be here. Yeah, what are we doing? Recording.
That's not the ideal, by the way. That was just because my roommate wanted to set this up during the last day coming back from Summit, so we obviously had to accommodate that day. But the point is, we'll still be here shooting, right? Yeah. That's just what it is.
But it is, nothing comes for free. It's how bad do you want it? And in terms of your commitment, it should be everything. Time, energy, your ego. Are you willing to go through humiliation? Are you willing to go through just times of just endless hustle where no one knows about all this hustle, you don't get the validation for it, you're just in your apartment, house,
private victories before public victories, as Stephen Covey would say.
Exactly. Are you willing to sacrifice that? Are you willing to go through massive amounts of failure? You have to make this pact with yourself beforehand. It's sit down, how bad do you want it? What are you willing to give in return? But also realizing the payoff is worth it.
I would even go as far as to say that in my mind, I perceive it that there's not a lot of distinction between the behavior that I'm doing and who I am even as a person. And what I mean as far as that is the laser-like focus. I don't have a lot of thoughts not related to work. I don't have a lot of actions that aren't related to work. When I take time off, that's to become refreshed to work, right? So it's like me and the work are one and the same. Now I also understand that on an identity level that, it's just a job, but if I'm gonna make the commitment to do it, you've gotta understand that even just logically, if I was to make the commitment to do this and not take it seriously like this, then what would happen? Probably I'd fail. I'd wind up with no retirement, probably no ability to pay for my kids. Shit just gets fucked. I watch a lot of guys that try to pursue their dreams, and it's shit. It's kind of funny to me that not a lot of people talk about the consequences of fuck it all, chase your dreams, right? What would happen if you fail? Most people that do it even do fail, and yet you rarely do even see people saying, oh, this could happen or that could happen or things like that. It's kind of so you've got to think about it clearly. So what we try to talk about here again, the idea of what you're willing to commit, how you're willing to change your brain's neurology, your brain circuitry to be able to put the time in, what you're willing to give up. Like we said, Cal Newport with deep work. I think that's a very, very powerful concept. Are you willing to put in deep work into this. And then from there, what you wind up with is, like you said, doing work that doesn't really feel like work. It's easy for me to work when this is just my essence at this point.
Literally.
And I'm willing to walk away from it. When I'm done, I'm done. And then when I disengage, I'll fully disengage, and I'll be doing something else. And that's just how it is. And tonight we will take time off and we will have fun. But again, why am I doing that? I'm doing that so I can come back 100 times more powerful, for what I do. My biggest payoff is the teaching itself. You know what I'm saying, right? Like running the company, it doesn't even make sense for me to teach. I should be focusing on the back end. But that is why I did it. When I'm up there on stage,
So you're alive.
crushing it, that's what I'm alive. It's like the movie Avatar, right? You're like the fullest guy when you're up there just fucking crushing it.
Think of those people who just love extreme sports. Like I have some friends, like they love jumping off like these dangerous cliffs and shit. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, like this is too risky. And for me to do that, again, I need massive willpower, a lot of effort. For them, it's effortless. Although they're doing these crazy things, like that's what makes them fucking alive. Is there a risk? Yeah, but like that's what turns them on. And for you, it's what turns you on. Like when are you the most alive? Follow your emotions there. And you should reach that point in terms of commitment where even though it could fail, like that's how I felt moving to Los Angeles, like even though it could fail, I don't have a choice. Like it's not about like even succeeding or failing. It's like, are you going to spend your life alive or dead?
It's really about actually going beyond the distinction between you like it or you don't. That's really what it is. It's like, it's not whether you like it or you don't. It's what you are, okay? And again, going a little bit against the Eastern philosophy that you are the witness in consciousness, you are more. But much like they teach you if you read Eastern philosophy in the Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna is in that war, he is that. You engage with it, you associate with it, just like we're associated right now. And when you're done, you're done. You're alive, you're put here on this earth, you're put here to engage. That's where the growth is. That's where presence comes from. I'm not sitting in a cave like, okay, because you're here. You're here to do good work, okay? So we thought we'd wrap up with, you go beyond it. And then going beyond it, your work ethic and visionary sense of ideas, creativity, and what you can accomplish is unmatched, or at least only matched by other people willing to take it that level. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon. Back to the party. Peace.
Like this program is such a game changer. The way everything's structured and the material, it's been already, even for me, it's just been, I'm noticing a crazy change in the way that my whole life's like playing out.
What you put together is just incredible. There's nothing like that.
I've just jumped like a million levels. It's just been a complete 180 for my experience of existing. That's awesome.
It's just been so huge in terms of so many of the things I'm finally understanding and realizing and epiphanies I'm having.
What you do is a huge inspiration to me, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things you can give to another human in this entire world.
You saved my life, man. I'm telling you, this is real, man.
Sometimes all it takes is just one person who believes in you. Find people who are where you are in life and model them, work with them. I would not be here if I didn't have people who held me accountable.
Wow.
I just felt a click and things are changing.
This program was just top notch.
Seriously, like this is a masterpiece. This is perfect.
Everything, the way it's set up, the live calls, like all the support from the coaches is incredible.
It's been nuts.
I just had my tears of joy.
This was the best decisions I ever made.
Thank you for creating something wonderful like this.
This program was phenomenal.
This program was amazing.
This program has definitely changed my life.
I know for a fact I'm in the right place.
This is exactly what I was expecting from the program.
It's been spectacular.
I feel really lucky to have found you.
Thank you so much, Julien. It's worth every dollar.